Hello, everybody. It's Mr. Mouseand again. I hope you had an amazing weekend. My goodness, now we are on week 7. And we are almost at the end of April, if you can believe that. We're about to go into the month of May. April showers bring May flowers, if you've ever heard that saying. So, like I said, I hope everybody is doing well. They're staying safe and they're staying healthy. So last week, we talked about composers, and we said that composers are people that write music, right? They're people that spend a lot of time writing songs. Remember, we listened to music by George Friedrich Handel, like the Hallelujah, 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 that song. We listened to music by Mozart, right? So we listened to a couple composers, just so you got a feel. And last week, I gave you a little bit of a surprise video. I hope you enjoyed that surprise video, and some of you gave me some good responses as to what you heard and how you could describe that video or describe what you were listening to. And that was really nice to read some of your responses. So thank you for sharing that. So now we are going to go into our next part, the big, bright, beautiful world of composers and listening to music, part 2, finding specific ways to talk about the music. And this guy, if you remember from when we were talking about instruments and instrument families, this guy is called the conductor. Yup, he's the conductor. He's waving his baton, and his job is not only to keep the steady beat and the tempo, but his job is to bring all the instruments in, okay, at the right time. His job is also to say to you, hey, I want you to give me this kind of mood at this time in the song. And right now, he's telling them, I want you to play really loud. That's why he's making that face. But I kind of wanted to put something funny and say, my piece is an absolute masterpiece. Anyways, so let's travel back in time to the beginning of the year. Whoop. The thing was supposed to flip a little more. Let's try that again. The first thing we started learning about in music was high and low. So, when we were first listening to music, we talked about how pitches in songs would sometimes move really high, then they would sometimes move down low. And sometimes they would just stay in the middle throughout the song, right? So sometimes they're really up here, sometimes they're down here, and then sometimes they were right about here, right? And now I want to give you a new fancy schmancy Italian word, all right? In music, when we are listening to a song, and we want to talk about where most of the pitches are landing, we are saying that we're listening for the tessitura. Now, that's a fun word. Tessitura. It's very fancy, and it's just a word that says this is where most of the pitches are landing. So if you had a sentence, you could say the tessitura of most of the pitches in the song Old MacDonald Had a Farm are in the middle. So Old MacDonald, let me sing it a little bit higher. Old MacDonald, that's in the middle, with a moo-moo here. Okay, most of the pitches in that song are in the middle. All right? So we could say that most of the pitches or the tessitura of the song is in the middle, right? Okay, that's fair. Then what did we talk about next? Ah, thank you, Mr. Will Smith. Ah, I remember. The next topic was loud and soft. Yes, the volume of the song is probably the next thing you're going to notice right after you notice the pitches or the notes. Your ears naturally are going to notice the volume. All right? And those fancy Italian words that we learned, we actually learned quite a bit of them. We learned quite a few of them, I should say. We learned mezzo piano. That one means medium soft. And then the first one, we learned mezzo piano. Then we learned piano, which means soft. Then we learned mezzo forte, which means about medium loud. Remember we said that's about conversation level. Then we learned forte, which means loud or to shout. Remember we said piano means whisper, right? And mezzo forte, again, that's conversation. Forte is shouting. That's playground voice, right? Or maybe more along the lines of an emergency voice, right? But wait, there's more! Kindergarten, we haven't talked about this. But first grade, we have. In music, it's very weird for an instrument or a singer to just go from soft to loud or loud to soft. That doesn't usually make a lot of sense. It's just very weird to just suddenly go, yeah, or, no, doesn't make much sense. So, here we go again. The fancy schmancy creators of written music came up with yet another way to slowly move from soft to loud, or slowly move from loud to soft. And we do that with crescendo. Means to slowly move from soft to loud. And then the other one we said was decrescendo. Means to slowly move from loud to soft. Remember we played a game, if you recall, first graders, where we walked around the room and we opened our hands and our arms like big giant alligator arms, like alligator jaws, right? Where our jaws opened as we were walking to when we were saying the word crescendo. And then they were closing as we were going decrescendo, right? And then the last thing we talked about was fast and slow. Fast and slow is important because you can't have a song unless you have, the tempo. Okay? Or the speed of the music. And we had a few more fancy schmancy Italian terms. The first one we learned was adagio, which is super slow. Then we had presto, which means fast. Now, here's a new one. A new one that I want to give you. Andante. It's a fun word. Andante. Andante means somewhat slow. It's kind of in the middle between super slow adagio and presto, which means fast. Andante is kind of like a walking speed. All right? So, now let's use what we've talked about, pitches, loud and soft and fast and slow, and we're going to listen to a couple examples here. Let's start with happy.
Take a break. I'm a hot air balloon that could go to space.
So, right away we can tell
Like I don't care, baby,
that the
by
tempo
way.
is presto,
Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like
right? So the tessitura of this song is definitely, he sings a lot of his pitches right in the middle, I would say, right?
that's what you want to do.
Interesting.
Here come bad news, talking this and that.
Is this a loud or a soft song? Would you say that it's forte? Yeah, I'd say along the lines of forte. You could say that it's mezzo forte for medium loud as well. Possible. It's definitely not piano or soft, right? Good. Let's go to another example. Let's go to the audition from La La Land, which is one of my favorite movies. We're going to skip ahead to this part right here.
The water was freezing. She spent a month sneezing, but said she would do it again. Here's to the ones who dream, foolish as they may seem.
Now, the tempo for this song is definitely adagio, right? And the volume is definitely, I would say, piano. But now it's going a little bit louder towards mezzo forte, maybe mezzo piano, somewhere around there. Now I would say the tempo is more towards andante, it's more towards walking. Right?
Here's to the hearts.
So, in that 1 or 2 minutes there, you can see how quick things can change in a song, right? So, for this week, you're kind of going to do what I wanted you to do last week. Here are your songs you're going to have, and don't worry, I'll send this to your parents in an email. Your mission, should you choose to accept this, I want you to choose 2 songs, and using the new terms that I just talked about in this video, I want you to describe these two of these songs: Scarborough Fair, Bohemian Rhapsody, All of Me by John Legend, Distant Melody from the musical Peter Pan, or Soren from High School Musical. It's your choice. You can choose any of these songs, okay? And just give me a sentence. Just give me a sentence, okay? For each song. Give me a sentence for each song. So that's 2 sentences, okay? Using the terms that we have just talked about. So for loud and soft, those terms are mezzo piano, mezzo forte, forte. Um, for tempo, we have adagio, andante, presto, and for I forgot, for loud and soft, we've also got crescendo and decrescendo, right? So think of those things and feel free to go back to this video to help you, okay? So I hope everybody is doing well. Please stay healthy and stay safe. And if you have the chance, go outside and enjoy the weather this week. All right. If you have any questions, email me. Until then, take care.